Hello there, and welcome back to another How to Max video in Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2024. Today we will face the Dark Lord of the Sith himself, Darth Vader. He's one of the best, if not the best villain in the entire game. Vader is extremely fun to play and can be maxed out quickly. Today, I wish you the best star cards, maps and strategies to level Darth Vader as quickly as possible in 2024. A quick note to start with: if you want to know how to level Luke Skywalker quickly and easily, have a look at my last video. But now, let's start with our beloved Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader. Darth Vader has a lot of health and is one of the more tankier villains. He deals a lot of damage, but is not as agile as Luke, for example. However, you can destroy huge numbers of enemies quickly and easily with targeted combos and therefore level up extremely quickly. Vader has 3 abilities. The first one is lightsaber throw. Vader throws his lightsabers at enemies, which can be hit up to 2 times by it. The second ability is Focus Rage. This buffs Vader's health and halves the stamina cost per lightsaber strike. He also does more damage with his attacks. The last ability is his Chokehold. Probably the most famous force attack from the Star Wars universe, Vader can choke multiple enemies at once and deals damage over time. Which star card should you use now for Vader? Vader has many strong star cards, but I usually use the following. Furious Resilience. With this star card you will suffer even less damage when your Focus Rage ability is active. This card is very important, as you will often face large numbers of opponents and therefore take a lot of damage. The second star card is Surrounded by Fear. With this star card, Vader recovers 20% stamina for every enemy he defeats. This is very important if your abilities are on cooldown and you have to defeat several opponents purely with the lightsaber in a short time. The third star card I recommend is Last Gap. With this star card, Vader deals 50% more damage to enemies who are in his chokehold. However, at least 2 opponents must be in the chokehold at the same time. Alternative star cards for Vader, which are also extremely strong, are Bonus Health, which gives you 150 more health as Darth Vader, or the Punishing Grip card, which extends the chokehold time by 40%. Punishing Grip can be combined perfectly with the star card Last Gasp. Which star cards you want to use in the end depends on your playing style. With my star cards, Furious Resilience, Surrounded by Fear and Last Gasp, you are well enough prepared for the co-op mode. Speaking of co-op mode, the best way to level up Vader is in the co-op mode. You play with up to 3 teammates against NPCs and you can farm fast and easy XP. Let's look at the best maps to level up Vader. The first map we look at is Death Star 2. Death Star 2 is one of the best maps to quickly and easily farm XP with Vader. You have to defend the first 2 points against the rebels. Proceed as follows. At the beginning, choose the Assault class so that you can get to 4000 points as quickly as possible and select Vader. You can also play as a sniper, but Assault is the safer choice. First, head towards point B and clear the first wave of enemies that come out of the door in front of you. Then you can go straight to point A and destroy the rest of the first wave of enemies. If you're lucky and your teammates don't get too many kills, you can farm 4000 points in the first wave. Otherwise, you will have enough points after the second wave at the latest. Once you have farmed enough points, select Darth Vader as quickly as possible. First go back to point B and clear the wave of enemies. Then focus on point A for the rest of the game. At point A, the enemies come from 2 sides. Once through the following door and one centrally in front of you from the crashed ship. Now proceed wave by wave as follows. Wait at this door at the start of a wave. Just before the door opens, you can, but don't have to, use your Focus Rage ability to get a health and damage boost. When the door opens, use the Chokehold plus Lightsaber Throw. With this combination, you can wipe out almost all enemies in a short time and earn a lot of XP. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a maximum number of enemies each time in this video. As a teammate of mine played Palpatine, who can also quickly and easily wipe out the enemies here. Once you have defeated the wave at the door, head straight for the crashed ship in front of you and take out the rest of the wave of enemies. After a short time, a new wave of enemies will spawn, which you should also intercept at the door first, and then take out the rest in the direction of the spaceship. If you have enough time, you can of course stop by point B from time to time between waves and kill the rest of the enemies. This also depends on how good your teammates are and how much support they need. If possible, finish the map during the first defense phase, as the subsequent points offer fewer opportunities to farm XP as Darth Vader. Death Star 2 is a very good map for leveling up quickly and easily with Vader, but this process can of course be slowed down by your mates. Depending on how good they are and better they play heroes, you may gain less XP. However, a round of Death Star 2 defense with Vader is always worthwhile and you should definitely play the map. Let's move on to what is probably the best map to level up Darth Vader. Tatooine, more specific Jabba's Palace. Jabba's Palace is great to level up Vader fast because of the close range corridors you have there. Choose the heavy class at the beginning and make sure you have your contact grenade and the slave-like grenade launcher equipped. First go directly through the door in front of you and stand in the following spot. Throw all available grenades in this direction just before the large door in front of you. The enemies will come from the left, center and right corridors. Focus on the center corridor at the start. Your grenade should be enough to quickly and easily eliminate the first wave of enemies at the center. You can then quickly kill the enemies on the left from the same spot and you will probably have enough points to play as Darth Vader. Select Vader and go through the same door as at the start of the game. Defeat all the enemies running around and wait for the next wave at the following point. At the start of each new wave of enemies, focus on the central path. Before the door opens, use your focus rage ability for more health and damage. When the door opens and the enemies run towards you, use your chokehold and then your lightsaber throw. This allows you to quickly destroy the enemies again, and with the right timing, you will get them all in one hit. Immediately afterwards, switch to the left side and clear the rest of the wave. You can still farm a lot of XP there. If you have enough time before the next wave, you can also eliminate the rest of the enemies on the right hand side. Then return to the original location in front of the door in the center and wait for the next wave of enemies. From now on, repeat the process described step by step. This allows you to farm XP very quickly and easily. I recommend finishing the game directly in the first defense phase, but it doesn't matter if you lose a spot, as the second phase of the map isn't bad for farming either. The last map I recommend to level up Vader quickly and easily is Tatooine, but this time Mos Eisley. You attack the rebels on this map and have 4 attack phases. Choose the assault class at the start and farm 4000 points as quickly as possible. Go through the center at the start. The first enemies will approach you there. Then head either to the left towards point B and A or to the right towards C. Here you can choose a direction, as there should be plenty of enemies on both sides. I went left towards point A and B in the following. I killed the enemies I encountered along the way and was therefore able to farm the 4000 points for Darth Vader relatively quickly. Once you have the necessary points, select Darth Vader again as quickly as possible and start your killing streak. I usually go to point C first with Vader to kill the current wave of enemies. Then you can move freely between the points and farm lots of XP. When your team capture the first point, you will get a nice bonus XP as usual for capturing on top. Once you have captured the first point, move directly to the new point A. To do this, go through the following corridor. You can directly destroy the first wave of enemies on this point and earn a lot of XP. Then go to point B and eliminate the remaining enemies. Now you have 2 options. Either you wait at point B this passage for new enemies, or you wait at point A at the center for new enemies. I prefer the center of point A, so wait here for the new wave of enemies. The reason for this is that here the new wave of enemies will not split up as much as at point B and more enemies come through the same passage. Now you can chokehold many enemies at once and kill them with your ability lightsaber throw. During this attack phase, move back and forth between the points and wait for new waves of enemies, but always start at point A in the center. Hunt down the remaining troops that do not take the planned route. This can happen if your teammates intercept the enemies before they can pass the 2 entrances. Otherwise, simply wait at the mentioned points for the new waves of enemies with the main focus on point A. After you have successfully completed the second attack phase, go to the new point B first. In my round, I had Luke as an opponent on the point. You should generally avoid heroes as opponents, as it takes longer to defeat them due to the health buff and you will put yourself in unnecessary danger. Instead, rotate to point A and farm your opponents in peace. Funnily enough, Chewbacca was on the point there. However, I was able to defeat him quickly, which is why I took the risk. I then killed all the enemies on the point. You can then look through the central passage connecting points A and B to point B again and take a few enemies with you. However, keep an eye out for possible heroes as enemies, as they can damage you badly. The best spot to wait for new enemies is in the middle between the 2 points or directly on point A. I had to move back and forth quite often due to the different heroes on the opposite side. However, you can always move back and forth between the 2 points in this attack phase as they are not far apart. This means that you can always farm part of both waves of opponents. There is no perfect point to wait for new opponents in this attack phase. Once you have successfully captured one of the 2 points, you can focus on the final attack phase on Mos Eisley. Follow the same path as I did until you reach the main entrance to point A. Now you can defeat the first few enemies depending on their strength. You have to be careful here, as many enemy troops will gather close together at one point. You will also be confronted by Wookiees and heroes, some of which can deal a lot of damage to you. Therefore, first retreat, depending on the enemy, and try to find a suitable opening. When the time is right, you can storm onto the point and defeat the remaining enemies. Play most of the rest of the round around the following point. Here, most of the enemies will run from the spawn towards the point and you can intercept and kill them directly. Again, use a combination of chokehold and lightsaber throw or slaughter your way through the enemies directly with your lightsaber. Depending on the situation, use your focus rage ability beforehand to get a damage buff and health buff. Defeat the remaining enemies on the point and repeat the steps until you have captured the point and successfully completed the map. So these were the best 3 maps to level up Darth Vader fast and easy in Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2024. Of course you can also play other modes like Heroes vs Villains, where you can also farm XP with Vader, but a co-op mode is just the best option to level up heroes or villains really fast in this game. I hope I could help you. Please let me know in the comments which threads you already knew and what level your Darth Vader currently is. Darth Vader was my second hero I maxed after Palpatine, and it was a lot of fun to max him. Feel free to post any other ideas for heroes or villains you would like to see a max out guide for in the comments. I already did a how to max out Luke Skywalker video last week. You can find it over here. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel to not miss any more guides for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Thanks for watching and may the Force be with you.